Hi, welcome. On this video, I'm going to be performing task-specific training with Coco. Coco's here for phase 4, which is the final phase of service dog training. And so the focus is on more specific helper type of tasks that the owner needs to perform, such as picking up objects. And on this video, you're going to see the training for the stand to assist type of a task. So here the goal is to begin to shape response, okay, to get Coco to understand what I want, okay, through, again, I'm applying some verbal praise and reward, okay, so that she can connect the dots properly. And at the same time, as I'm doing this, I'm going to be putting some of my weight onto her, so I'm going to be leaning on her, pressing on her upper back area to mimic, okay, the owner needing to use her as to assist him to go from, I say, a seated position to a standing position, because again, he has great difficulty, getting up from a seated position. So the goal here is for Coco to be able to stand and give him support that way. So what I'm going to be doing to help to train that, and you can see it here, is I'm going to be getting her to continue to move forward so she doesn't go into a sit. I want her to learn to stand. And so I'll be shaping that, okay, through both, how I'm using the leash to move her forward at times, and also rewarding her when I have the right response, okay, so she can start to connect the dots. And I also have a chair out here so that I can start to incorporate the actual using a chair or an object where I'm sitting down, she's come alongside of it, and I'm able to start to incorporate more realistic type of a setting into this. So, but first what you see me doing is, it's going to be going around in a circle, and I'm going to be starting to shape it, okay? And I'm going to be talking this as I go through. So again, as I move forward with her, stand, good girl. So here what I'm doing, stand, good girl. I'm moving her, good girl, good girl. Moving her forward, good girl. When she's more steady, okay, when she, and good girl. So it's called jackpotting. So when I'm doing this, good girl. What I'm doing here by moving forward is I'm setting up the parameters so she can be successful, okay? I don't want to slow down too much. I'll get slower, slower, slower as she gets this. Let's see, she tries to sit down. Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. See, I'm putting lots of weight there on her. So sometimes here what you want to do is, so even here as I'm moving forward, see how slow I'm going. I'm going very, very slow. So what I'm doing is, she is trained to default into a sit, okay, during kind of regular service dog interactions where if I come to a stop, okay, if I come to a stop, she automatically sits. For this exercise, I want to be able to give the command, stand. Good girl, good girl, good girl. I want to be able to give the command, good girl, and apply pressure without her thinking that I want her to sit. Because again, during the initial phases of training, I'm using a push-pull technique, putting influence onto her to create the sit and the down. So now when she feels that pressure, I want her to connect a different dot now, okay? So that the pressure now in this context, good girl, does not mean to, good girl, to sit. Okay, I want her to start to stay up. Good girl, stand, good girl. Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. As soon as she tries to sit, I get her moving forward again. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Now put lots of pressure on her. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. saw there during that little part of that is I keep her moving forward while I'm putting pressure onto her. Because again, the idea here is to shape this. I have to kind of reverse course from her thinking that I want her to sit. So I have to keep the motion going here for now. Good girl. Then slow down. Good girl, good girl, good girl, good girl. Then slow down as she begins to not go into the sit. Okay, so it's all about shaping this. Good girl. Stand. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Stand. Good girl. Good girl. See, as soon as the sit starts to happen, just move her out of it. Stand. Good girl. Move her out. So here what I'm going to do is get her alongside the chair. So here what I want to do is I'm going to sit down first. And I'm going to eliminate any sort of licking. That some of her behavior is control with Coco was to do with her owner, like licking and then emotion. Okay, so here, not letting her lay down either. Okay, so to set up this exercise here is first again about relationship. I want stability first, which means that I want her to get the idea is, hey, quick. So I gave her a little bit of, no, give her a little bit of a tap there. She thinks about licking. She's kind of licking here anyway a little bit since something's on her nose or something. But so here from this position, once I get some stability, then I'm going to do the same thing with the stand command and start to see if she'll pop up a little bit. So I put some pressure on her and reward. So here, stand. Stand. Good girl, good girl. And move forward out of there. So by doing that with the chair, even though the chair is a higher expectation because I'm going right from, you know, a no motion at all, expecting her to kind of pop up. You see what I have to do there is I have to kind of initiate. Good girl. I have to initiate. Stand. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Good girl. I have to initiate a little bit of forward motion to create it. But what I'm doing here is by putting the chair in the picture, okay, the higher expectation is already starting to be in the picture, okay? So it's good to, I may not use that too much right now, because what I'm doing here is I'm just setting the foundation by doing this exercise this way, because again, I need more motion, okay? I need to kind of keep her, good girl, good girl. I need to kind of keep her going so she's standing as I apply pressure. So I have to use motion to do that, good girl, so she doesn't automatically default into the sit. Good girl, good girl, good girl. Right away. So she tries to sit, move her forward. Stand, girl. Good girl, good girl. Good girl, good girl. I'm going to do this again one more time for chair. Bring her forward. First order here is a really good picture of a follower, okay? Good stability first. Don't want her laying down, I want her standing. And then, same thing. I want her to be settled down, focused on me. And then I'm going to launch into a little bit of motion here. Stand. Good girl. Good girl. So I got a little bit there. Stand. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So anyway, that gives you a bit of a picture of how this is done. Okay, it's about, you know, shaping, which means that expectations, you need to kind of, you know, create a foundation first. So you have to do certain things like I'm doing. For example, if you have to think about, okay, how do I get a dog to, you know, to stand and be able to accept the weight of somebody. Well, with the dog that's already prone to want to say default into a sit, okay, I have to keep that motion going and kind of, build a different bridge. Okay, so and through association. So you'll hear me saying the command at the same time. I'm tying it in. So she's hearing the verbal command, okay, but I'm shaping at the same time. So I'm bringing her under a level of influence. So I'm communicating with her through the method. The method speaking the right language with how, it's tying in together. And then how I'm rewarding at certain times, okay, to tell her, okay, that's exactly what I want. Okay, so it's like the reward is like taking a snapshot in her mind. Every time she hears "good girl," the snapshot, okay, is when I have have weight onto her. It's a higher expectation, which means that she's, the picture's getting better. So saying "good girl" to shape it, and so at moments where I'm pushing, she's standing up really good. That's when I'm giving this timing. So that's when I'm giving the reward for that. And at times I'll give her more reward. It's called jackpotting, for better moments, and that's really kind of the part of the shaping part, the part of her, beginning to become more motivated, okay, to begin to understand and align herself, okay, with what I want, okay, with a higher expectation. So again, same thing. See, chairs there. So this is an exercise I'm going to be doing quite a bit with her during phase 4, and this, what I'll be doing also is mirroring this up, okay, with the owner, which means that I do this in the training facility, then I'll be meeting with the owner, okay, at his residence and in different places. This week we have kind of lined up that I'll be meeting him at his restaurant, so I'm going to be doing this exercise there. Goes down for breakfast every morning at his favorite restaurant. And I'm also going to be going into there's a pet place down here that I noticed that she's really was stressing a little bit in that area inside the pet supermarket, where there's other dogs, other animals. So, that's on my checklist now to kind of go into with the owner and, speak the right method to help to get her to release that state of mind, okay? Again, through an association. So anyway, this gives you a good glimpse into this exercise. Again, she's kind of licking here a little bit. I think there's something, she probably licked that a little bit on her. I'll check her out here in a second. But again, going really well. Again, this is just about shaping. This is a lot of repetition, a lot of just consistency and good focus. So